So we have talked a lot in recent years about the instrumental value of the arts. So we talk a lot about how if we use the arts in the right way, then maybe one day our children will be better at maths, right? So if we learn that. We've talked about how if we use the arts in some ways, then maybe it will help return some things to employees. And there is good data and there is good research which back up all of these claims. But I'm going to talk about something else this morning, which is the true value of the arts, what they are, why they matter, and try and make an argument about something we've often forgot in the arts world, which is these are things which are fundamental to who we are as human beings. So at the 92nd Street Y, perhaps the most extraordinary thing I ever heard from an artistic perspective was a performance of the Well-Tempered Clavier by the great pianist Andras Schiff. If you don't know the work, your task today is go and listen to it. It is one of the great pieces of piano music in the repertoire. And he played it exceptionally. He played it without any notes. He played it without touching the pedals over 2 nights. And it was a truly virtuoso performance of one of the most important works of music ever written. Over 2 nights, he completed this piece. And when he stopped at the end of this truly virtuoso performance, he had a huge round of applause. He came back on stage. He started an encore. And as an encore, he began the whole piece all over again. He played the very first prelude, which he had begun 2 nights previously. And this was two or 3 days, must have been 3 days after Hurricane Sandy in New York. And we had had some good conversations about whether we should actually be having an event at all. But we knew the audience wanted to come, and we also knew that New York, if it has one thing, it has some resolve. So we knew that the show should go on. And when I was sitting there in the audience, hearing him after this epic performance start all over again, he had a little smile on his face and he started all over again. I was sitting in my chair thinking, what an extraordinary statement about resilience. What an extraordinary statement that even after epic things, we simply pick up and we start all over again. And that's what I thought when he started that piece of music. But I don't know what the person sitting 3 rows in front of me thought, right? Maybe they thought about their wife and kids. Maybe it made them think about their wedding. Maybe it made them think about what they really wanted in life. Maybe it made them think about some great challenges. Maybe that piece of music made them feel a bit calmer or a bit happier or a bit more inspired or a bit more spiritual. For every single person in the concert hall that night, there were 1,000 people there, for every single person, each one of them was moved by that piece of music in a very different but profoundly human way. And it reminds us that the arts, the impact of the arts is not uniform. It's not the same for all of us. But the impact of the arts is universal. It is something that for people everywhere, it moves souls and it touches people's hearts. Now, that piece of music has been played for over 300 years, or almost 300 years, around the world. That was just one performance on one night, and it had an impact on 1,000 people. But it's been played very badly by, in small rooms, by small children, plonking away at the start of it. It's been played extraordinarily well in the most beautiful concert halls in the whole world. But for over almost 300 years, which is almost as old as Jim is, for almost 300 years, that piece of music has been played countless times. And every time it has really grabbed to people and made them consider a slight bit more what it means to be human. And what is true of that piece of music is true of the great songs, it is true of the great paintings, it is true of the great dances. What the arts do at their very best is actually get us all to take that moment and reconsider what it means to be human beings.